Greetings, adventurer. Welcome to the D20 Academy podcast. I'm Shiloh.
And I'm Gabriel, and this week is our class rebuild for the Druid.
Hey, you guys, welcome to our fourth class rebuild. These have been a lot of fun. If you haven't listened to the other ones already, you can check them out in the podcast. Gabe, go ahead.
Alright, before we get into it, as always, check us out on Instagram at D20_Academy. We want more followers because we want to feel happy and fulfilled by them. Secondly, we have a Discord channel where you can message us and ask us questions, give us suggestions, anything you would like to say and ask. It's the perfect place to do it.
Also, get the document to follow along in this class rebuild.
Yes.
Basically, oh, sorry, I didn't talk about it, but we're like rebuilding the Druid class. We're doing it how we want to build it, and if you want to follow along, you can find the document on our Discord.
Alright. And to get into our Discord, just message us on Instagram which is again at D20_Academy, or we have a post up on our Instagram where you can comment beneath it if you prefer that way, and we'll send you an invite. Alright.
Yeah,
now
and
Shiloh has
hey
something
guys,
to say.
I launched a new thing. I talked about it last week, but I just launched a free video at d20academy.com that is like over 20 minutes. It takes you through the process of building a campaign. And if you sign up for that video, you can also gain access, to you just have to buy it. But I have a course also, a really cool course I spent a lot of work on, that is like a full in-depth thing that takes your hand all the way through the process of building a campaign. It's been a lot of fun building it and working on it. I've been talking about it for ages, and it's finally out. So you can go ahead and check that out at d20academy.com. Let's get into the episode. Hey guys, it's another class rebuild.
It is.
I feel like it's been a long time since we did one, probably because it has been.
Probably. Let's be honest.
This one is, okay, so, we're gonna do this one a little differently. Typically, we basically build most of the class, go over it with you guys, and then do some last-minute brainstorming live with you guys. But for this one, we had sat down, as we always do, and we're like, let's figure out what we want to build. Let's figure out like what things we want to focus on, and like the main major things that we want to add and stuff. And this conversation was going so well that we were like, let's just record this part. Let's record all of it. So we don't actually really have a lot of the class built yet. So, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how this goes.
By the way, the class spotlight on the Druid was episode 21.
What episode is this? Like,
It's been over, this is 66, I want to say.
goodness.
It has been over a year. That was posted September 17th, and it's October 26th.
Wow.
It's September 17th of 2019. So, we haven't talked about a Druid in a long while.
Rightfully so, because the class sucks. Alright.
We just kidding. This is not the Druid class rebuild. It's the Druid class roast. Oh.
You should have left that one in the
We
drafts.
take all your
Alright.
favorite classes and just roast. Sorry.
Alright, I want to apologize for my partner's jokes. He's working on them. Alright, so, what are we talking about before we realize we should start recording?
Yeah, a lot of things. Okay, so there's this really cool homebrew someone made. The user on Reddit is SWECKY. I don't know, Swecky or something. I don't really know how to pronounce that.
Probably.
But it's called the Alpha Druid, and they made it. It's kind of like a Druid rebuild of their own.
Yeah, but alpha.
It's really cool. We both really like it, and we both recommend checking it out.
Yeah,
Essentially,
I'll post a link
go
in
ahead,
the
describe
Discord for it.
Kind of describe what it is real quick.
Alright, the Alpha Druid is a redesign of the base Druid class focusing on, mm, well, drastically expanding the subclasses and the essentially the domain of nature in the druid class of what nature pertains to and what druids can interact with. So they have several new circles which are all really interesting and have their own mechanics that change how you play them. They have a very
Several,
interesting
I think
animal
several is a
companion
bit of
builder.
a several new subclasses, a bit of an
Several.
understatement. There's like, and not new actually. They're all, well, yeah, they are all new. They don't have Circle of Moon or Land.
Yeah.
There's like 12 or something crazy.
Yeah, there's 12 subclasses. It's like how long is it? 45 pages long.
Yeah. Mostly also because, as he said, well, a lot of the pages at the end are like updates and like appendices and stuff.
Yes.
But there's like a whole like animal companion builder, which is really cool. I haven't totally looked at all of it, but
yeah, it seems really cool. I took a glance at it because also they have a subclass about having an animal companion, which I think is, of course, something that a druid should have. Like a druid's class should have like a subclass or something pertaining to animal companions. I think that's makes sense. And the companion builder and the rules that they have for it, I think, from what I can gather, allows the animal companion to actually be useful outside of roleplay and the occasional scouting.
Now that may come as a surprise to some of you 5th edition players, but an animal companion can be useful. Maybe with this, though. Yeah, I haven't totally looked at it. Basically, though, this Alpha Druid, very bare, naked base class, really not a lot. They removed Wild Shape. They like gave them an extra cantrip, and that's about it.
Yeah, they added like a 6th level ability or like
whatever.
Just a
It
immunity
really
to
matter.
poison, I think. Yeah.
It's
poison disease.
I mean, even the player's handbook Druid is pretty naked, the base class at least.
Yeah, I think
But
this is actually
they made it even more naked by taking away Wild Shape. But it's really in the 12 subclass that is kind of the new wait. Yeah, 12 subclasses.
Yeah.
That the stuff really shines. There's all kinds. There's like growth, and one about memory, and then one about like constellations, and then one about war. Whatever.
Wrath, I think.
Wrath. Yeah. But it's about
Nature's
like
wrath,
battle.
Isn't that like a paladin
It's
thing?
like whatever. Anyway, that's an Alpha Druid. That was pretty cool. So we're kind of looking at that because like that to me is like kind of like a better. It's kind of an upgrade from the player's handbook and its variety and stuff.
Yes.
And so we're like this is cool and like what do we like about it? But like what do we kind of want to make? And so we kind of wanted to go back to the barbarian class rebuild, which I think was really cool, because we like added some like pretty unique and like fresh like core class features that really changed, like that really made it unique and kind of made it into fit into a niche with the critical injury table and the way that the stages of rage and stuff like that. I felt like those base class abilities really made the barbarian unique and cool. So we kind of want to do the same thing with the druid. Give it a really cool base class feature that can also, the subclasses can also work off of and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think it's something we've done with all of the class rebuilds so far.
The cleric was cleric we mostly focused on subclasses. We kind of changed around divinity and stuff, but
all right.
So,
also, as always, when you're dealing with this spellcasting class, it can be a little bit harder to make abilities and features for it because they have access to a lot of spells, and spells are essentially limited use abilities. So.
Yeah, I'm sick of spellcasters. I can't wait till next month when we do the fighter. That's one of the ones I've been most excited for, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
But Druid, I love the Druid. If you have listened to my class spotlight on it, I love the Druid a lot. That's just my vibe. I like it. Bard, #1 class for me. Second is maybe like Rogue or Druid or something like that. I really like the Druid. I really like Wild Shape. I really like nature. What?
Nature.
I really like nature. So, let's try to figure out what this this kind of base, this new kind of base feature is. That's kind of what we've been talking about before. We're like, we should probably be recording this. So the one I suggested, is some kind of like feature that allows you to attune to different things. Whether this is you to attune as an action or like every rest or whatever it is, you attune to a different aspect of nature. Once again, this is just an idea. This is not totally fleshed out yet. But it would be something like if you can tune to like animals or plants or mountain or whatever the heck it is, and that like gives you a different ability while you're attuned to it. And then based on your subclass, you gain access to more like whatever these are called, things to attune to. So like maybe in the elemental subclass, you now can also attune to fire, water, earth, or air, or like in the circle of the land. You have the option to attune to the biome you're in. So like how Circle of the Land has like Arctic and grassland and stuff like that. Maybe depending on what biome you're fighting in or whatever you're in right now, you can actually attune to that. I don't have a name for this yet, but that attunement thing.
Attune to that attunement thing. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't have a noun for it yet. That. You know what I'm trying to say. Whatever it is.
Aspect.
That aspect, sure. Archetype or whatever. So something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with coming with nouns for things like this is that you don't want to like infringe on like the nouns that other classes use.
Yeah.
And there's so many. You know, we've got paths, colleges,
circles,
mhm,
domains,
archetypes, bloodline, schools.
Yeah. Why couldn't they just call them subclasses? Would have been so much easier. Yeah, but no, that is true though. You have to be really careful with naming things. Anywho, that was kind of my my idea. I was explaining to Gabe that like when I think of like Druid, attune is just like a word that comes out to me. Like I picture like dudes with like wearing like antler headdresses, like in a stone circle with this bowl that's smoking, and they're like sniffing in and getting high on nature and feeling nature and hearing and listening to how the trees are feeling.
What? Yeah, that does make sense, and I do agree.
Ooh.
Okay.
Also, minor thing. This does not need to be a big thing, but I think also giving the druids some kind of medicinal kind of capabilities, whether it's just like proficiency in those kits or something. But also druids and shamans are typically also attached to like medicine and potions and stuff
Don't
like
they
that.
have some healing spells?
Yeah, they have healing spells. But I mean, outside of spells, like, I feel like that, like, on Earth, that's what druid and shaman and stuff like that is, like, attributed to. Is, you know, using plants to make concoctions and stuff like that.
Wait. Hear me out. You know how, I think when we started making these class rebuilds, we talked about wanting to add more crowd control into the game.
Yes.
In different ways. So, I figured like if we're adding it more into the classes,
yeah,
also makes sense if like the animals have it in some sort of way, or like why animals, like enemies have it, you know?
Sure.
So, what if like the druid got like some sort of like cleanse ability, you know, like a shaman like coming up with something to counteract a curse that was put on someone, or to
Right. Or to curse people.
curse people.
That's
Yes.
also that's also a druidic kind of warlock kind of deal. Well, a warlock is actually a D&D class. I probably shouldn't have said that, but now it's confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that to counteract.
Wait, did you hear what I said
What about the
while you were talking?
warlock?
Maldam. I said Maldamba.
Oh, Maldamba.
Okay, hear me out. I really like the concept of like throwing a potion, and like like an AOE splash potion, and it explodes into like this field of like green bubbly stuff, and enemies in it get hurt, but allies in it get healed. That's just
Isn't that
cool.
just Pip?
Anyway, that's just no. That's Maldamba's thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter, guys.
Well, okay,
We're not gonna
that's
explain
like
what we're talking about because
it's
we're
a
too
gourd.
ashamed. We're too ashamed. Yeah, the gourd. um.
The nervous
like-
laughter there.
what I'm saying is, we could also kind of go back to like classical druid roots in like more natural, like concoctions and plants and like potions and medicine and like getting high on certain plants, and then you can like see into the spirit realm and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's cool. That's cool druid stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm looking
What if we go
at druids
more
like
that
in history.
Yeah, what if we go more that route than like magic, high fantasy? You know what I mean? I'm actually really liking this. I don't know how you feel right now, but I'm actually like, this is actually really cool. We don't haven't developed anything mechanically yet, but I mean like focusing more on that. I think that would really differentiate it too from the other classes, the spellcasting classes.
Oh my goodness, I was so put off for a second. I've been listening to like instrumental music quietly in the background, and
Yeah,
the
me too.
Jurassic Park theme just came on. I'm like, what is happening? My
Wait,
mind
what
just
are you
got
listening
pulled
to?
out of it.
I'm listening to the Harry Potter soundtrack. What are you listening to?
The playlist is called Classical Essentials. It's 18 hours long, so I love it.
That's awesome. Just like movie soundtrack essentials.
Movies, everything. Well, it's 18 hours long. They've
Oh.
got room for a lot of things.
Crap, I forgot. Okay, this also kind of feeds into this as well. Right before we were recording, I was like, hey, Gabe, maybe this isn't for Druid or whatever. But maybe this is for another future class or whatever. But a feature or whatever based on your focus, as in your spellcasting focus. So, like, not necessarily like staff, orb, or wand, but like that too. But like, I feel like druids, like the material, whether it's like yew or ash wood, or whatever kind of like wood is used to make like their staff, or oak or whatever, mistletoe, like that, the material or like whatever of their focus can also affect stuff. That's also really cool.
That is pretty cool. Alright. Before we get too far and too many tangents, I think we need to figure out what we want to do with this.
Yeah.
Because I really like your idea of taking it into more of like a shaman route, you know? Or back to like traditional like druidic things instead of just like spell casting. Okay, but we need to like define what that means for us.
Yeah. Okay, is this too dangerous? Is this heretical for me to suggest this idea? And I don't know how crazy we are, how much time we have. Do you think this is actually kind of to the point of removing spell casting?
I'm gonna say something perhaps even more. Well, it's more of a slight to you than to anyone else. What if we give it some sort of? It's not the same, but it's kind of like pact magic. Hear me out. If you want to take it away from just like
I
having
don't like pack. I don't like pack
I
magic.
know,
You know
I
I
know
don't
you
like
don't like
pack
pack magic. I know, and you have valid reasons. But
Yeah.
I think some spellcasting feature should stay. Some ability to cast
I agree.
spells
I agree. I agree. I agree. I was gonna say
in
like with the
some
subclass
form.
maybe, but yes, I agree. I agree. Okay. Okay.
But perhaps if we want to like change it from just spells, we just limit the amount of spells and whatever in some sort of way, kind of like pack magic does. Am I starting to make a little bit of sense?
Yes. I hear you out. If we give them enough other stuff
Yes.
so that pack magic is still, because like Warlock does not have enough other stuff, or at least other stuff that is good enough to balance out the fact that they have packed magic. But I completely hear you. Yes. Yes. I am down with this.
All right.
We're gonna be here for 3 hours, but I'm down with it.
You know, with the way that things were going, I was thinking like, oh, we just like get through this quickly and we change a couple things, and maybe we can work on like the
Yeah.
fighter a little bit, come up with some ideas. I really am excited for that. But now we've got a lot of
Yeah.
things set out in front of us.
Yeah, but I am totally down. I'm really excited
Okay.
right now, actually.
Also,
I was not excited at all. Okay, that's a lie. But like, you know, like the Druid, I was like, oh, well, how much can we really change? Now it's like, how about the whole class?
okay. Also, I think we also lean into like prophecy. I think that's a typical like druidic thing.
Okay, yeah, okay. Here's, yeah, okay. Hear me out. Right now, my mind is going to a million different subclasses, like an animal companion subclass, and a spirit walker subclass, and a subclass focused on like the material of your focus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this stuff we're gonna have to build into the base class. But I do think there should be like an oracle subclass.
Yeah.
Who sees the future, goes on trips into the and sees the spirit realm. But once again, I want to ground it not so much in magic, but in like plants and like literally like getting like high, like how they do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I know this is kind of weird, but you understand what I'm saying? Like brewing, like brewing potions or whatever to like make them see things, to be able to see the future, to go on, astral project and stuff like that. So I think that definitely should be. That's definitely a cool subclass idea. Is like a spirit, oracle-ish, kind of deal.
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I'm reading through the Wikipedia page for druids, and it's like very long.
Yeah, I mean they've been attributed to a lot of different things, and we can't do everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I think we should build into the base class. Like a medicine, almost alchemist kind of thing. I'm not saying an alchemist class, but kind of an alchemist medicine deal, okay?
Okay. I'm here for that.
I'm not talking complete, like, alchemist, fire, splash potions. Probably more in the sense of, like, concoctions and drafts that don't, like you're not, like, just, like, throw and lob in potions in battle. Like, not like that kind of deal, probably. Also, that is more of, like, a support class kind of deal as well. Like, giving people these potions you make during rest, and then they can drink them before battles to gain bonuses to whatever. Like, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Also, terrain type, kind of Circle of the Landish. I really like that. We could also attach it to this medicinal kind of deal. Like, depending on what region you're in, when you take a long rest, for example. Okay, so, just hear me out real quick. Let's say we have this alchemy class feature.
Okay.
Let's say every long rest, when you first get this feature, you can make 2 potions every long rest. Okay, let's just say. And, but the materials, we're not going to get into, like, you're collecting, like, materials and stuff like Witcher. Like, heck no. This is still 5th edition. But, like, during the long rest, like narratively, your character goes out and collects materials to brew these potions. So depending on what biome you're in, that dictates what materials you have access to. And I'm not saying we list materials. We say, like, if you're in the mountains, the potions you can make are this, this, and this. Because those are narratively the materials that your character can find. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And then, you know, in urban, it's like, nah. I guess you just have to spend money to get the... Because you can get... I guess in an urban environment, you can choose any potion, but, like, you have to spend money to, like, buy the materials or whatever. Does that kind of make sense? I think that's cool.
Yeah. I think that kind of makes sense. And it also is a more logical reason for how these potions or whatever can't last forever. It's because, like, they're just like natural ingredients. You know, like some of the classes have like this limited resource, but only like it lasts for like this long. Why? Because I don't know, it's magic, but it's still, lasts this long. But this is like you're making something out of like the physical ingredients
this is like,
you have.
This is not magical. This is literal like ingredient. I mean, some of the ingredients are like kind of magical because like, you're in a magical world. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It actually makes sense because that's how it works. Okay, I like this. I would like to point to talking about the kind of like the focuses, as I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to point your attention to the Genesis rulebook. Now, we haven't really talked about this on the podcast. We love the Genesis magic system.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's like so cool. I feel like it could get a little boring after a while, but it is so cool. If you haven't checked it out, check out the Genesis magic system. It's so cool. But at the end of the magic section, they have like a little one page where they give you like 5 different magic focuses. There's like a U wand, a Druid circlet, a cleric symbol or something.
Yeah.
Like an orb or whatever. Now, some of these give you bonuses to anytime you deal damage. So like the wand, I don't actually have it pulled up right now, but like the wand, for example, like gives you like a +2 to anytime you deal damage with a spell or whatever, right? But then some also like do different things. So like the circlet, whenever the spell you like, I don't want to go explain the whole Genesis magic system right now, but like whenever you like basically like use a summoning spell, you can like make an additional guy or whatever. And then like with the cleric one, whenever you affect a creature that is like an anathema to your domain or god, so like a classic cleric fighting an undead essentially, then you get so and so and so. So like some of these give base bonuses to extra damage when you're dealing damage with spells, but also give you like a really cool like side ability. So I think something like that, Gabe. I don't even know where I want to go with this focus thing or if it even works yet, but like, depending on like the material and the focus. So like there's a couple of materials like oak, mistletoe, stuff like that, and then like whether it's a wand, a staff, a circlet, whatever. Maybe you combine those two to create your effect or whatever it is.
Okay. We've got a lot of ideas floating around here.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple more because I've been spending some time looking through Unearthed Arcana classes similar to this.
Pour it all out. We'll organize this someday.
All right. So, one thing. Curses.
Yes.
Definitely have curses. I'm looking at this Unearthed Arcana class. Or not Unearthed Arcana, sorry. Homebrew class that has a bunch of different like curses. You can like limit on how long they last and how many you can have active at one time. That's some cool things. Like ones that like drain people of their strength or other like instead of their health. That's just damage.
That drain people of their health. Like taking damage. No, but like making them lethargic and like disadvantage on like attack rolls and things like that
different
Yeah,
types of
yeah, 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 yeah.
curses, not all necessarily like
I would
damage or whatever.
sure. I would also like to suggest like not like also a ton of curses that are not combat related. So like they
Yes.
have gaps in their memories. They're more easily charmed. They have bad luck. And
Yes.
do you realize? Do you realize what that means in a game that is built on dice? That is built on luck. Okay, continue.
All
I
right,
like
all
this.
right.
Continue.
Then for like a spirit warrior kind of thing, they talk about
Yeah.
like how you can like inscribe like glyphs onto like a weapon or something. And I think like
Oh
runes
boy,
and
this is
glyphs are
becoming
really
the most complex class. Yeah.
no,
Okay,
no, no,
keep
I'm
going.
just
Keep
like
going.
throwing
Keep
out
going.
ideas. I think like runes and glyphs are a
Yeah.
thing we can use for this class. You know?
No, you're right. Like Nordic druids were very about like
Yes.
runes and stuff like that. Charms. Oh god. Oh god. So much stuff. Okay, continue. Continue.
Switch back over to the other one I was looking at. Where is it? Where is it? Here. So, okay. There's so many things. Like both of these like documents I'm looking at are over 20 something pages. But okay. I think for a lot of things, because we don't want to lose all of the druid spells, you know? There's some really interesting
Yes.
druid spells, and I think we can take a lot of the
Yes.
spells and adapt them into abilities, or if we keep like some sort of spellcasting ability, we can still keep them as spells. So I think the druid has a lot of interesting spells that are unique to the druid, a lot of nature things we can adapt easily. For like the oracle side of things, which I really like the idea of.
I totally like that. It's awesome.
I think there's room to build on what fifth edition has, because you kind of don't have a lot of things based around like oracle type of abilities, which is
There's
also
some
hard
augury
because of the
stuff,
nature
but
of the game. Yeah, we've got like augury and the divination wizard.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's
No, yeah, we can lean
about
into
it.
that for sure. Okay, this is turning into a support class, which I'm totally not angry about at all because I love support classes. Obviously, my favorite classes are Bard. This is kind of turning into like the ultimate support class, and I'm not actually mad about that at all. I think it actually works really well. We do need to figure out how they like what they do in combat. I think that's pretty important because there's a lot of cool like outside of combat stuff that we're talking about, a lot of support stuff we're talking about. But I don't think we should completely lose the fact like will still want to make attacks, and those attacks still have to be viable enough to take. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So their spells will be much more limited. I think I think we can keep them with like damage dealing spells. That's all fine. They're gonna be way more picky with their spells because of like pack magic kind of thing, which I think is fine. I mean, because of like Shillelagh, like druids have always actually been pretty good at like weapon damage dealing or whatever. But maybe there's other ways we can make them more useful in combat and stuff. But like, no matter what class you're playing, if you're playing D&D, you want to be dealing damage. You know what I mean? So we still need to figure that out as well. But I like all of this that we've talked about. I like everything.
All right.
It seems like
New
a
list
crap
of
ton
the
of
most
options.
important things.
Oh, everything we talked about. Oh man, oh my gosh. I love runes. I love curses. I love the focuses. I love the alchemy. Obviously, yeah, I love the oracle guy. Animal. I like maybe animal companion is more of a subclassy thing. I like wild shape, but once again, we could just turn that into a potion. You know.
That's true.
So. Oops.
We're both like editing
at the same
typos.
time.
We accidentally created this abomination of environment. All right, we've got some good ideas here. What else is really important for this? We've got like the oracle stuff, the runes, the curses, the focuses providing different benefits based on what type or material. We haven't decided which. These alchemical potions that you create using ingredients
Yep.
based on what environment you're in.
I want to admit something. Oh, animals. Animals, wild shipping companions, I think are important. I'm scared to brainstorm more because we're going to come up with even more banger ideas, and it's going to be harder for us to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like those are all pretty big. Those are like the biggest Druid, classic Druid stuff. Not classic Druid as in D&D Druid, but like
Classic
Druid as
Druid.
in like Earth. Like Earth Druid. You know, like that like pagan kind of deal, I feel, you know, all that kind of stuff I feel like is all this. And this is a lot. And also, it all seems like a lot of options. Like runes, sounds like a lot of options. Curses, options. Focuses, options. Potions, a lot of options. You know what I mean? They all seem like very customizable things, which is good. We love customizability here in the Academy, but I'm just saying.
Alright. I
Yeah.
think we combine, instead of like this runes and curses thing, we have like this like blessings and curses thing. Or like...
I like the runes, though.
I know,
Charms,
I like
charms.
the... Charms?
Charms. Yeah, because, like, you know... Charms is like giving them the necklace with the rune that wards off evil spirits and stuff,
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
Whereas curses is more like, I curse your household. Or whatever. A curse on both your houses. Anyway. Yeah, this is all good. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something super profound. Nope. I'm losing it.
Nope, okay.
I'm losing it. It was gonna be super crazy.
Super crazy and profound.
Yeah.
Alright, let's
Okay,
start
I'll
on
come back
something.
to it,
Let's start on
hopefully.
something. Let's get something down. We can work off
Let's
of
get
that.
something. God forbid. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
First level.
Okay. Okay.
Spellcasting.
No, I disagree.
No, I'm saying like from like the base class. Like what do we change? Starting from first
Oh.
level.
Oh. Okay. 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 What?
Okay.
My mind is all over the place right now. I think we should move spellcasting to at least second level, if not third.
Okay. I'm down.
Obviously, your subclass is at first level because we're not horrible people. I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say, and I can't.
Okay. What if?
That's
okay?
this whole episode is just, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
What if leveled spells were like a subclass thing, but cantrips, and we can add like like certain abilities, like tone down Druid spells into cantrips.
Mm-hmm.
And just have cantrips as a universal Druid thing.
Okay.
Or
Okay. Yeah. Or
maybe the other way around. Does that make sense?
cantrips are a subclass thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I actually kind of like the idea of like
There's a
I
siren
think
in my background.
limited resources ties better into this shamanistic Druid that we're building.
Yeah. Sorry, there's like really loud sirens in my background, so I apologize.
Can you
for
just
those.
tell them to stop?
I've tried before, but they just can't hear me. It's like they're trying to save people's lives or whatever. I'm like, well, I'm trying to record a
what did
podcast
I
that
just
like
do?
30 people listen to, so. Okay, yeah, sure.
Why?
That's fine. I'm okay with all of this here. Let me expand this table out to the edges of the dock so we have more room.
Let's try this again. Insert
Proficiency
column right.
bonus. Proficiency, but whoa.
Why? It keeps on doing this. I don't know why.
Wait, okay, add another one.
Wait. There we go.
Add
Now
another
it's in the right
column.
place.
There we go. Okay. There we go. Wait, sorry. What is the base class ability? The cantrips or the...
Oh, no. Wait, spellcasting table.
Oh, flip, we have to fit a spellcasting table on this?
Or we just make a different table somewhere else.
Yeah. We'll just make a different table.
Alright. So, limited leveled spellcasting. It's base class feature. Starting at second or third level.
I'm just trying to get it back to the way it was. Oh.
Right?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What happened?
No. Oh.
Why don't, revolutionary idea, we just control Z until it looks good?
That's what I was doing. But, there we go. We're all good.
Ah, nice.
Ho, ho, ho. Hee, ho, 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 ho. Okay. Spellcasting, let's put it in a second level.
Alright.
Because that is more of a minor feature now.
Yes.
It's still, like, pretty important, but it is more minor now. So let me move that to second level. Okay, I think we should put this focus thing at first level.
Yes.
My concept is, like, you have one focus that you're attuned to, kind of like a magic item. Choose this focus. It's like one of those things where, like, you build it at first level, and then if it ever gets destroyed, you can always build another one, blah, 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 by spending, meditating for 4 hours, or whatever the heck. And I think what would be really cool is you have material and type, and you combine both benefits together.
Okay.
So, like, material, there's, like, oak, mistletoe, bone, and then in type, it's, like, staff, wand, circlet, something like that. So you choose one of each, you combine them together, and that's your focus. I think that's pretty cool. I don't want to add a gazillion types or whatever to make it super complex. Maybe only 3 or 4 of each. Just a little cool customizable thing.
Okay. I've got a really good idea.
Yeah.
But it might be a little bit too much.
I can tell by your voice. Okay, what is it?
You're talking about, like, oh, like, combine, like, a material and, like, a type.
Yeah.
And, sometimes they're gonna, like, break and you can, like, remake them.
Yeah.
But I was thinking.
Okay. I'm scared.
More along this lines, because, like, the spellcasting, like, focuses, like, don't really, like, matter for, like, any class in here. You just, like, oh, I chose a components pouch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't think about it for the rest of the game. And I like this idea of, like, thinking about, like, the focus that you're using. Because also that opens up interesting, like, flavor opportunities during combat. So, I was thinking about, like, different types of focuses and what they could do, Like, what could the different focuses provide? And I realized that maybe we have, like, a different type of material based on, like, what things you could, like, find. Like, different, like, potions based on what environment you're in.
Sure, yeah.
What if their focuses had, like, limited uses, okay? And hear me out on this, based on either what type or what material you get access to different spells.
Wow.
Because I think the idea of, like material that you have, which you have access to based on your surroundings, giving you access to different spells,
Dude,
It
this
just
is
enhances like
so
the
good.
connection to the nature that you have
Dude.
around you.
This is so good. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Okay, so here is what we do. This is crazy, okay? We're gonna combine all of this now.
Okay.
The thing you get at first level, this feature, is basically this terrain / biome feature, okay?
Yes.
Later on, whatever levels you're gonna get, the alchemy or the focus, whatever thing you're gonna get at those levels, maybe your subclass will also, whatever. Those just have like ties to the terrain. I'm not explaining this correctly. Okay. So we have this terrain feature, okay?
Yeah.
Where we break down the 6 terrains or whatever. For each of them, we list out like materials, okay?
Yes.
Oak, bone, whatever is prevalent in that thing. Now, when you gain the focus feature, it describes, hey, after you've used your last focus, it loses its power, and then during the next long rest, you can build the new focus. But of course, you can only build it from the things around you. So when you build it, it has to be based on like the materials in that environment, right?
Yes.
Which is already a part of that terrain feature.
Mm-hmm.
It describes what materials are in each environment. When the alchemy thing comes around, it's like every long rest, you can build some potions based on your environment. And like potions, each need a number of materials. You just need the materials in the region.
Yes.
So let's say like a healing potion needs, I don't know, like some certain like mushrooms and crystals or whatever. I don't care. And so if your environment has both those materials, you can prepare that potion during the long rest. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we have this like master table and other, like with this terrain feature, and other features that you'll get, maybe even from subclass and stuff, will just reference this table and use from it.
Yes. Okay, I have both a gripe and a thing that I love about this.
Mm-hmm.
The gripe is that, oh, now we have to write out all these different types of materials based on the terrain. That can be a lot of information.
I mean, it doesn't have to be too crazy, but yes.
The thing I love about it is that having, like, actually, like, putting down these actual different types of materials that you can actually find in these different places involves the player in the world and the nature of the world so much more than just, oh, I'm in the desert, so I make a desert focus. You know, I'm in the desert, so I make a desert potion.
Yeah.
They're thinking about the actual materials, which just grounds like the character more. You know, I think it's really cool that I can find these mushrooms in this forest thing. You know?
Yeah. And we're not making it too complex. You're not keeping track of the materials that you're collecting or anything. It's just, you just reference the table in the moment. We're taking a long rest. I'm going to prepare my potions. We're in the mountains. I look at the mountain thing. These are the 5 materials you can find in the mountains. I go find the potions that I want to make. They require the materials that I have access to. That's good. I make them. Right? Like, you don't have to... It's not too crazy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to go super detailed in this either.
Alright. Okay. Remember that YouTube channel I shared with you a while ago? Monarch's Factory, it's called.
Yes.
Like Dale Kingsmill or whatever. So,
yeah.
She created this document somewhere here of... on a video about foraging, crafting poisons, and medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share it with you. And it has a bunch of things I think we can use, create, because like based on your different type of terrain, what you have available to you. And she even went as far as I think, mapping all the effects, the different appearances, the names, what you need.
Yeah. And like we're not even gonna have you like roll to make the potions or anything.
All right.
We keep it as simple as possible while also making it cool. Okay. Let me take a look at this. It's this thing. Everything's taking a really long time to load. Okay, here we go. Oh, and it's also based on the time of the year.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot. There's a lot of stuff here.
Okay, yeah, this is a lot. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff. It's cool though.
It's cool.
Okay,
Also,
okay.
I
Yeah.
we're going to have to end up cutting down this recording because it's already 51 minutes and we haven't written down
I
a single
know, I know.
ability yet.
Okay, okay, no. Here's what I was gonna say. I was about to comment that we're almost an hour in and like literally haven't written anything down yet. I mean, I think this has been all interesting. I think we can keep this all in the episode or whatever. I say we have an idea. I feel like we have a direction here.
Yes.
There's a lot of nitty gritty now that we have to get into. So then I think we stop recording, and then we'll record a bit after we've basically finished. Just quickly, we're not going to go over all the details. Quickly going over everything. If you want the details, you can look at the document that we kind of came up with and stuff.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we'll just hard cut to us saying, "Hey, welcome back. This is the stuff that we had come up with."
Agreed. Okay.
All right, see you in a second.
See you soon.
Okay, guys, welcome back. It has
Part
been
2 of this.
24 hours. And we are not done.
Well, part of that is due to the fact that I slept like 12 of those hours. The other part is due to the fact that we're basically just creating a whole new class with so many different things to create.
Yeah, so
And-
here's the thing. We're not going to go over everything. If you do have access to the document from our Discord, if you're listening to it the day this episode is coming out, or like a couple days after maybe, it will still probably be unfinished. It may take us a while to actually finish this. This was not a class rebuild, this was a class build. We went way too overboard with this one. We definitely learned a lesson. We're not going to do this again. But we basically made a new class. It's pretty unique, unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's pretty different. Pretty different. Got a lot of things going on here. It's exciting, but a lot to take in.
Yeah. So, let's just kind of go over what we've done, kind of what we decided on and stuff. And then if you have access to the document, you can deep dive into all the little details. I assume we'll also put this up on Reddit because like we've worked really hard on it, so maybe we can get some traction on it as well, there. But
So, some background information here. I just woke up from sleeping for like 12 hours because I didn't really sleep the night before. And
Yeah.
Shiloh did a lot of things that I haven't really gone through, so we're going to be going
Yeah.
through what Shiloh has worked on since.
yeah, I've been working on it for like 4 hours today. But we did a lot of work yesterday after
That is
we
true.
stopped recording. So I kind of dived into the nitty gritty, whereas we did a lot of the general work yesterday so that Gabe is familiar with. So Gabe, let's jump into kind of what we decided upon generally. Yeah.
Alright. So, we had so many ideas floating around.
So
Interesting
many.
ideas, things we could do. We generally decided upon making the Druid a support class that isn't, at least in the base class, focused on spellcasting.
Yep.
Instead, they have some things called charms, which we'll get into a little bit later. They have also many different abilities that change based on what sort of biome you're in. We have like potions that you can make, wards that you can make and give to people. There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on. Um, it is pretty detailed. There's a lot of nitty gritty. There's a lot of options and stuff like that. Definitely like the most customizable class, D&D class that I've ever seen. Um, so yeah, so first level you get the druidic language thing that you get at first level in the player's handbook class. Because why not? That's cool. We'll keep that. You also get charms, which we'll get into, which is kind of like your not spell casting. You'll see. Kind of like spell casting. It's kind of like what you're going to be doing during combat, that or attacking with weapons. Um, we've kept all the druid like proficiencies and hit dice and stuff all the same as the base class. So just like regular druids, sometimes like there is definitely always the option of hitting people with sticks or whatever. And also at first level you choose your subclass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's just the thing that we like.
Yeah. Second level, you get access to the biomes feature, which isn't really a feature. Well, it is, but it doesn't give you anything. We'll get into it. And the shamanistic focus feature. Third level, you gain the hermetics feature. Fourth is ASI. Fifth, you gain the wards feature. And then from then on, it's just ability score improvements or improvements on charms, shamanistic focus, or hermetics, or a druidic clan, which is the subclass feature.
Yes. All right, so I think we should start up at the top here. I think with charms. So all right,
Yeah,
with charms, they have way that charms work is you like choose one. They have like prerequisites that just like Eldritch invocations, like I have to be a 5th level to take this or whatever. At range, then both a blessing and a curse. So for each one that you choose, you can have something that you can do to like help an ally, help yourself, do something good, or like a curse, like have them take damage or the opposite effect of the blessing, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah, so each charm is made up of a positive blessing and a negative curse. These go hand in hand. This is a little confusing. Not sure if I still worded this correctly. A lot was on my mind, but let me kind of read this out, see if this makes sense. First of all, you can only charm creatures that are currently not under the effect of a charm, so that's fine. Whenever you use a charm, you choose to either enact its blessing or curse effect on the target. When one effect ends, the target is then affected by the other. For example, if you bless an ally, they are affected by the blessing only as long as the duration, after which they become affected by the curse, and vice versa. If both effects are instantaneous, they immediately take effect one after the other. Once a character has been affected by both the blessing and then the curse, or the curse and then the blessing, the charm no longer affects them until you choose to target them again. You can target yourself with the charm unless otherwise stated. And if it requires an attack roll, it's 8 plus your proficiency plus your wisdom. And if it's a DC, it's your... that's the DC. If it's an attack, it's your proficiency plus your wisdom. If it's a DC, it's 8 plus your proficiency plus your wisdom. Just like a spell attack modifier or spell save DC.
Yes.
You can choose 3 to know at first level, and you can choose 2 more at 5th, 2 more at 11th, and 2 more at 17th. And they are also split up. They have prerequisites based on level. So, like, you also can't choose some until you get to 5th, 11th, or 17th level.
All right.
So, let's take a look at
that. Already, I'm thinking of problems with this.
Yeah, there's so many problems. I feel like this kind of is broken. No, not broken in like a good way, like just broken. You'll see. This is such a weird thing, but we'll figure this out.
Starting off with the first one, or health
first
/ harm.
Don't talk about the first one.
Heal?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, let's talk about the second one real quick. This is more of a basic. This is a really good basic example.
All right.
Okay.
Fortune and peril.
Fortune / peril. You can take this at first level. It's a bonus action. The range is 30 feet. The target gains advantage on the next attack roll they make before the end of their next turn. And the curse is that the target gains disadvantage on the next attack roll they make before the end of their next turn. So this is pretty simplistic. You bless your friend. The next attack they make gains advantage. After that happens, Then the next attack they gain gains disadvantage. And you can do it vice versa if you want to curse the enemy with disadvantage first and then advantage. It's a pretty basic example of what this system is. Now, there is no limit to the amount of times you can charm people. There's not like spell slots or anything. You can do this as much as you want. The balance comes in both the blessing and the curse. Does that make sense?
All right.
Now, I do have ones that do heal and damage, but I think I'm going to remove those. That's just because they're confusing, and also because other things will do that, probably with like potions and stuff. Go ahead.
The problem with this is that mathematically, I don't think you ever use the curse. Because, okay, here's the thing. With disadvantage, they have a higher chance of failing, you know? And if you aren't like using the critical fumbles variant rule, whatever, then
Mm-hmm.
that's the only outcome that you want, you know? You just want them to fail,
Yeah,
correct? But if they have an advantage, they have a higher chance of critting.
but if you roll a natural 20, you crit with an attack roll. If you roll a natural 1, you automatically miss with an attack roll.
Yes, but I'm saying like there's a better effect. Like if you're making them roll a disadvantage,
Yeah,
the only thing you're trying to get is for them to fail. You know?
sure.
But if someone's rolling with advantage, they have a higher chance of critting and dealing double damage.
Yes.
So I don't think that's a worthy trade-off to give someone disadvantage on one attack and then get advantage on the next.
Okay, well, we could change that, but I mean, to me, that's kind of the point. Like, there's another one that does saving throws, and like, the saving throw is like if you do it to them to get disadvantage, and then your friend like spell cast something on them or whatever, and even though they're gonna get advantage on the next one or whatever, like, do you know what I mean? Actually, I might need to change that one. Okay, there's a lot of broken stuff here. I burned through it. I just try to get like ideas down technically, but yeah, I hear you out, and like we can definitely mess with these.
All right, we have so many here. There's no way we get through all of them, and we're gonna have to rework a lot of them probably.
Oh yeah, oh definitely, definitely.
But just to
Um,
give you an idea of how the system works.
yeah. So this one, it's actually much harder to come up with these than you would think. Come up with like an equal blessing curse kind of deal. This one is weird because you like never really are gonna use this curse. It's kind of just like for the opposite, um, just for like to balance out whenever you use the blessing. But this is like I like this concept. This one I've called enthrall slash repel. Takes an action 60 feet. You have advantage on all charisma checks directed at the target for 1 minute. Basically like the spell Friends. And then the curse is you have disadvantage on all charisma checks directed at the target for 1 minute. So of course you'd never really do this curse side, because why would you want disadvantage on charisma checks? But you know, does that like it's to balance out the first one. But like in my mind, like that's the point of like these charms and stuff is like the concept is like you're charming people to fall in love with you or to slip up or to have bad luck or whatever it is, right? Like that's
No.
kind of the concept.
Here's how you use the repel side.
Yeah.
You're trying to get someone to fail on banishment, I guess. To combo with something else, you know?
Wait, what do you mean?
You're trying to get them to fail the charisma saving throw against being banished.
Oh. Okay, I don't get what you're saying.
Oh, it's charisma checks on saving throws. I'm dumb.
And you have it, not them. We can fix that. But the point that's like kind of like the idea. I just had to write something down for like my idea. Um, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like being able to understand all languages and the curses you can't understand like any languages, or kind of like haste and slow kind of a deal, but not that intense. Um, Stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Okay. I know you're just trying to get ideas down. I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm just saying, like, with the brilliant slash dumb one where you can speak all and read all languages, where the person can't, is unable to understand, read, write, or speak any language for 1 minute. I'm pretty sure that means you can't cast a spell with the verbal component.
Oh, because you can't like speak any language or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that would make that pretty good then.
Too good.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So obviously there's a lot of stuff here that we have to fix or whatever. But like,
All right.
and like this one, I have no idea how to do this one. But like this one was lust/hate, and it's kind of like you can kind of like if they fail a save, like you can make them like become like obsessed with like finding something or like trying to woo it or like hate something or whatever. Like that kind of stuff. I feel like is the charm. Like that's like the concept. You know what I mean? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that if you want to look through all of these, we're gonna have them up in the document on the Discord eventually, so you can wait around to see them all there. I think we should probably move on to the shamanistic focus as your second level ability, along with the
Yeah.
biomes.
So why don't you kind of talk about biomes and shamanistic focuses? This is second level stuff.
All right. So an idea that we had was to really tie the druid down to the environment. Obviously, druids, tree huggers. Go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So we wanted to tie them further to the biomes that they're in, specifically that they're in currently whenever they're getting up from a long rest, whenever they're getting ready to go adventuring. We wanted to make sure that each biome provided different benefits or different options for your druid. So we concocted up 3 different biomes: coast, mountain, woodland, subterranean, desert, and tundra. We give brief descriptions, then we go into, with the shamanistic focus ability, which you get at second level, we go into how you can make a shamanistic focus, like a spellcasting focus, essentially, kind of like that. And this focus provides both a passive focus, which is determined by whether you're creating like a wand, a staff, a circlet, or an amulet, and then a benefit or an ability that you can use as an action or as a bonus action. And then once you do that, the focus is destroyed. But that active ability is determined by what environment you're in. We reason that as
not exactly the one you're in, but the one that you build it in.
one that you build it in. Thank you. Yes, because based on what environment you're in, what biome you're in, you're gonna have different resources at your disposal. So if you're near the coast, then you're gonna have different things than if you're in the jungle, or jungle, which would be a woodland area.
Yeah.
So we have these different aspects that you create if you're creating a coastal staff or, say, a woodland circlet, all these different things.
So, for example, in the woodland, you can use your focus to cast bark skin, but after you do it, that focus is destroyed. If you're in the subterranean, if you built it in a subterranean environment, as an action, you can cast Pass Without a Trace with the focus, but then it's destroyed. And then, like the type, say it is a circlet, the duration of the spell you cast with your focus is doubled. Or if it's a wand, you can deal additional damage equal to your wisdom modifier whenever you deal damage with a spell or a charm. So like stuff like that, the type is like a passive effect, and then based on the biome that you build it in, that gives you an activated effect. So then whenever you finish a long rest, you can build one of these focuses for yourself, and the type is up to you, the wand, staff, circlet, or amulet, but the activated effect is based on the biome that you're building it in. So we thought that was kind of like a cool concept. I think we talked about that before, about like combining these two things, to like make your unique kind of focus.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, pretty unique. I have one problem with the addition here, because I hadn't really thought of how you upgraded this at further levels. I just kind of got it down on the page and left it.
Yeah.
Was that we have it listed here as like, you can use your focus to cast a spell as a second level spell through wisdom spellcasting as your ability modifier. After doing so, the focus is destroyed. And then at higher levels, you cast it as a higher level spell. The problem with that is the spells that we have listed here as the effects, not all of them change as you level them up.
Yeah. And also,
Cause
not all of them like deal damage or whatever.
yes, I
So,
think perhaps like a
mhm.
better solution would be to allow like you can use it twice before it's destroyed,
Yeah, that's also fine.
and then you can use it 3 times, whatever.
I just thought like some of these spells do not become very useful if you just stay at like second level or whatever. Like Armor of Agathis like does not become useful at higher levels if you just keep casting a second level spell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll have to
Anywho,
figure it out.
yeah. Also, the amulet might be too good. It's fine. All just things just getting down on the page. So that's that. At third level, you have Hermetics, which we still have to kind of figure out. First of all, you need to have an herbalism kit and be proficient with it. Which you could become proficient with herbalism kits just straight off the bat from being a druid. But after you finish your long rest, you can prepare a number of hermetic potions equal to your wisdom modifier. But you can only prepare potions listed under the biome you are in. So we go back to biomes. So let's, for example, say you're in the mountains. There's a list of potions you can make if you're in the mountains. So any other potions you can't make unless it's listed under the biome you're in. Pretty self-explanatory. The potency of these potions lasts, or their effects only last for 24 hours. So basically for like a day. From long rest to long rest, essentially. And then our homebrew potion rules: bonus action to drink a potion, an action to administer it to another creature.
Yep. Pretty simple. In that part, we still have to map out what these elixirs and drafts are exactly for each different biome, but that's the idea. I know this is a lot. It's quite a lot. And we haven't even gotten into the subclasses at all, which we still have to map out for the most part. So, 3 sort of subclasses we've settled on for now. One is like an oracle type, they're using like augury kind of things to divine the future. I think that's a very interesting thing that is typical for druids and shamans in our own history. I think that's pretty cool. Then we have the beast speakers, the working name right now. Animal companions, talk to animals, that kind of stuff. Then we have some sort of spirit warrior, magus type thing where they use their powers that they get through nature to be better in battle martially. Thank you for listening, not even watching. Thank you for listening. Check out the document. There's going to be a lot of changes. We'll probably update you guys sometime about the progress on it. Keep an eye out for that. All right, bye.